3 types of men you should never marry. Before you say, I do, let me ask you one question. Are you marrying a man, or are you marrying a lifetime of stress? Because the truth is, many women don't end up in unhappy marriages because they married a bad man. They end up unhappy because they ignored the warning signs while they were dating. They believed love would change him. They hoped marriage would make him more responsible. They convinced themselves that things would get better. But marriage doesn't fix character, it reveals it. Ladies, a wedding lasts one day. A marriage can last decades, and the wrong man can steal your peace, drain your confidence, and make you feel lonelier than if you had stayed single. So, today's video, we're talking about 3 types of men you should never marry, no matter how handsome he is, how successful he appears, or how much you think you love him. If you're a woman who enjoys honest, mature conversations about love, relationships, intimacy, and becoming wiser with your choices, make sure you subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and leave a comment below. Let's get into it. 1. The man who refuses to respect you. Every successful relationship is built on one foundation that many people overlook. Not romance, not chemistry, not even love. Respect. Because love without respect eventually becomes painful. Pay attention to how he treats you when he disagrees with you. Anyone can be kind when everything is going well. The real test comes during conflict. Does he mock your opinions? Does he laugh at your dreams? Does he interrupt you every time you try to explain yourself? Does he make you feel like your feelings are too much or too emotional? Many women slowly lose themselves because they're constantly trying to avoid upsetting a disrespectful man. Before long, she's walking on eggshells. She stops expressing herself. She apologizes for things that aren't her fault. She becomes smaller just to keep the peace. That isn't love. That's emotional survival. A man who truly values you doesn't have to agree with everything you say, but he will respect your voice, your boundaries, your dignity, and your humanity. If a man consistently makes you feel invisible, unimportant, or beneath him while you're dating, don't expect marriage to magically transform him into a respectful husband. Marriage magnifies habits. It rarely erases them. And while disrespect slowly destroys your confidence, the next type of man threatens something equally important: your future. 2. The man who avoids responsibility. One of the biggest mistakes many women make is confusing potential with reality. He'll mature eventually. He just needs more time. Once we're married, he'll become more responsible. Maybe, but maybe not. A man who refuses responsibility before marriage usually carries the same habit into marriage. Notice how he handles problems. Does he own his mistakes, or is everything always someone else's fault? His boss, his parents, his ex, the economy, his friends? Everyone except himself. A mature man doesn't need to be perfect. He simply needs the humility to admit when he's wrong and the courage to fix what he can. Responsibility isn't only about paying bills, it's about emotional maturity, keeping promises, showing up consistently, being dependable, protecting the relationship instead of constantly creating excuses. Marriage is teamwork, and when one partner refuses to carry their share of the emotional, financial, or practical responsibilities, the other partner eventually becomes exhausted. Many women don't leave because they stopped loving the man. They leave because they became tired of carrying the entire relationship alone. Now, as draining as an irresponsible man can be, there's one type that's even more dangerous because he doesn't just bring burdens, he brings chaos. 3. The man who brings constant chaos into your life. Pay attention to how your life feels when he's around, not how exciting it feels, not how passionate it feels, how peaceful it feels. There's a huge difference. Some women mistake emotional chaos for deep love. The constant arguing, the breakups, the makeups, the jealousy, the lies, the silent treatment, the emotional highs followed by crushing lows. It feels intense, but intensity is not intimacy. A healthy relationship shouldn't leave you emotionally exhausted every week. If every month brings another crisis, another betrayal, another apology, another promise that things will change, you're not building a relationship. You're trapped in a cycle, and cycles rarely change unless people do. Peace is one of the greatest gifts a husband can give his wife, not because life will always be easy, but because you know you're facing life's storms together, not fighting each other every day. Ladies, never underestimate the value of emotional stability. It's far more attractive than temporary excitement, because butterflies eventually settle, looks eventually fade, but peace becomes priceless. Choosing a husband isn't just choosing someone to love. You're choosing the person who will influence your emotional health, your confidence, your children, if you have them, your finances, your future, and the atmosphere you'll wake up in every single morning. So never ignore disrespect because he's charming, never excuse irresponsibility because he's funny, and never normalize chaos because the relationship feels exciting. Real love should bring security, trust, growth, friendship, and peace, not confusion, fear, and emotional exhausting. I genuinely love to hear your thoughts. Which of these 3 types of men do you believe is the most dangerous to marry, and why? Share your experience in the comments. Your story could encourage another woman who needs to hear it today. If this conversation helped you, don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with another woman who deserves to build a relationship rooted in respect, maturity, and lasting peace. And remember, never let the fear of being alone convince you to marry someone who will make you feel alone for the rest of your life.